Hi guys, this is Teacher Mike, and this is a technical video teaching you how to sign up for and set up Anki and make your very first flashcards in Hebrew. So let's get to it. There's a number of steps, but feel free to pause the video at any time. Our first step is to sign up for Anki. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to go into web browser and search Anki Web. Okay, you should get results like the ones that are on screen now. And I want you to choose here Anki Web About, it might just say Anki Web, and I want you just to click on sign up. You'll be taken to a screen like this. This is where you write in your email and confirm it and choose a password that you'll remember. So when you've done that, you'll click sign up. You'll get taken to agree to these conditions type screen, click OK, and then you'll be asked to verify your email. And at this point, go and check your email. And you'll find a confirmation email, click on that, and then come back for step number 2. Step number 2, once we now have an Anki account, we want to download Anki, which is just like a piece of software, onto our computer. So to do that, we go Anki download, and Google that. The first result will likely be this thing, Anki Powerful Intelligent Flashcards. I'll click on that, take us to a screen like this. Clicking on download will then take us to a download link depending on what platform we're using, Windows, Mac or something else. So just click on this download Anki, yours might say for Windows, and that'll start a download in your browser. Okay. When your download's done, you might have a screen kind of like this. This is at least how it is on the Mac. Here we have an Anki app that we've just downloaded, and you're going to drag it over to your applications folder. It will be very similar on Windows. Point is, install Anki on your computer. And once it's installed, it looks, as I said, like a blue kind of star. Once it's installed, I want you to open it up. Here is Anki now on screen. So this is step 3. So you've got it installed, you've opened it up, and it might ask you already to type in your email, which is your username, and your password. If not, you'll do that in a moment. So when you have a screen similar to this, kind of this blank screen, and of course yours might be a small box, I've just expanded mine out. The third step is to download the kind of Teacher Mike flashcards that I've prepared for you. So I'll send you the link. I would have already given you in a lesson, or it'll be attached to this video in the comment section. It'll have a link to my Anki template cards. So it'll be a link like this in Google Drive. You just click download. It'll download them on your computer, and then I want you to open them up, open up the download with Anki still open, and it'll kind of import these cards into Anki. And it'll say something like this, Hebrew, Ivrit, in brackets, and you'll probably have 4 next to new. So what this is, it's 4 new flashcards that I've given you for free. And so let's go have a look at them, okay? This is kind of step 4, which is how to use Anki. So we click on the Hebrew deck of cards, and we click Study Now. And here's our first card. Now, without going into too much detail, right? Without going into too much detail, because this is not a video kind of talking about what Anki is, but in short, Anki is a flashcard application kind of on steroids. It will teach you anything that you need to learn in Hebrew and ensure that you never forget it, because it works on this thing called spaced repetition learning. I won't go into detail, you can read about it on the internet, but it means that you only go over things at certain spaced intervals to maximize your ability to remember things and minimize your amount of study time. So it's an awesome application. A lot of other kind of memory applications using this idea of spaced repetition learning, but Anki I think is the best. So anyway, it's this flashcard application. What we're doing here, this is an actual flashcard, okay? It's got a Hebrew conversation. Now, if you can't read this, if you don't know what's going on, that's fine. This is just for students that have already covered this content with me in our lessons, so it makes sense to you. So don't worry. This is just an example. We have a conversation. Mr. 1 is saying Alan, which is like hey. Mrs. 2 is saying ma, which means what, and there's a space. So looking at the picture, it's kind of like what is happening or what's going on. So the card is essentially asking you for this empty word. Ma kore is what we say in Hebrew. Ma kore. Kore is like happening. So we think about that word in our heads or say it out loud. Click on Show Answer.
Microwave.
And we have an audio recording with a native Hebrew speaker. We have the word here written out for us so we can check whether we got it right or not. And then, here's the magic step. We rate ourselves. How well did we do? Was it easy? Did we remember it? Were we kind of slow but we remembered it in the end? So we'll be clicking good. Or did we not remember at all? So we'll click again. So you kind of have to rate yourself. That's very important. But if you were close or you got the answer, then you're either rating good or easy. Let's rate easy. Here's another flashcard. We have just a single word and it wants us to think of the meaning of that word. And the meaning will be represented in a picture. So there's going to be a picture of this word, etz. This is for people that are learning to build their vocabulary. So what is etz in Hebrew? Think of it in your head. Click Show Answer.
Etz.
Here we have a tree. That's etz. And we have a voice recording. So we rate ourselves. Yep, we remembered it. So we click Easy. I'm going to click here to study our last two cards. Here again we have this word kore, which is like happening. So say ma kore, what's up? This card is for, again, those more advanced students who are learning conversations. And here this card wants us to think of a sentence with the word kore. So we might think of the sentence we did just before, which was ma kore, or Alan, ma kore. Any sentence will do.
Microwave.
And here's just an example. So if we're able to think of a sentence with the word kore, any sentence, we'll click Easy. And the last card shows us the picture and we're meant to think of the word. So what was the word? Do you remember? For tree, it's etz.
Etz.
And we just rate ourselves, okay? And then here we go, we finished this deck for now. So that might be a huge amount of information, and it probably is. But you've got this video and I encourage you to look over it many times. We only have one more step to go and that's what I want to show you now, which is making your own Anki cards. Okay, so the way you do that, you click into your deck. We click the Add button. And here we have what will probably look really overwhelming at this point in time. That's okay. This is kind of the creation of your flashcard screen. But I first want to do a vocabulary word. So I'll do that again. I want you to go up here where it says type. I want you to look for TM, which is Teacher Mike, Vocabulary Builder, and double click on that. And here we have the screen. We're building the flashcard. Okay? So the word we're going to learn now is the word for ball in Hebrew, which is kadur. Okay? Now either I'll have given you a list of the words, okay, or I will in the lesson tell you how to spell the words. Okay, but here is the word kadur. We write it out in Hebrew. We're going to find an image for the word. Now I just use Google Images. Okay, let's just take a picture of a ball. I'm going to copy it and paste it. And then I'm going to find a pronunciation file. So for this, and this is kind of a separate thing, I'll mention this to you in our lessons, but there's a great website called forvo.com. Forvo.com. Create an account and you can find Hebrew pronunciations of a lot of words.
Kadur.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to download this. Go back into Anki. Drag it in.
Kadur.
And finally, I'm going to say in this two cards thing, it says, do I want to make 2 flashcards? I'm just going to type in Y for yes, although any letter would do. And that's it. I'm going to click Add. And I just would have made 2 flashcards, which is awesome. Okay, so that's for people that are just working on their vocabulary. If you're a student that's already working on conversations or even full sentences, we're going to click again up here and we're going to click on TM, Teacher Mike Hebrew All Purpose. It's a bit longer, but let's go through it together. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to take a sentence. So just say we're learning a conversation again, similar to the one we learned. And Mrs. 1 says Shalom, and Mr. 2 says, he says Alan. Okay, he says alan, but I'm gonna blank it out because that's the word we need to learn, alan. I'm gonna write the word here, alan. Again, I would have given you these conversations in the lesson, so it'll make sense. I'm gonna find an image. Alan, by the way, is hey, as we kind of spoke about. It's an informal way to say hey. I'm gonna find an image kind of someone saying hey. Here we go, this guy's pretty informal. Copy this image, paste it into Anki. I'm going to not worry about these definition verbs, not important now. I'm just going to go down to where it says extra info, conjugations or pronunciation. I'm going to go back to Forvo, find a pronunciation file for Alan.
Alan.
Download it, import it in.
Alan.
And again, I'm going to make 2 cards here, so click yes or Y. That's it, then I'm going to add. Okay, and close this. And now I've got 4 new cards because I just made 4 cards. And that's enough for now. So we've gone through a huge amount. The last thing you do to finish off studying or to finish off, any card creation, you always click on the synchronize button, which is here. That will upload all of the cards you just made to kind of the Anki cloud, so it'll be saved there so you can use it on any other device. And you might be prompted for your password and the email address you used at this point. So that's the Anki creation, download, using, studying, card creation video. It's a huge amount of content. Go over it if you need. But now you're ready to learn whatever it is you want in Hebrew. So well done.